All right, we're going to go live here. Game week 47 playing time estimates, jumping right into Arizona. I've got Christian Walker coming off the IL. Did not play last night. I expect him to become a regular player again, though. I know they're a little different team now that they acquired Josh Bell, but I think Walker's a good enough player. He should be in there every day when he's healthy. Corbin Carroll is on fire. Get him in there if you have one. He should be playing every day. I forgot I should be bringing this up. We're going to need to look at this for some things here at least. This, of course, is roster resources. In-season tools shows you who's in and out of the lineup and when. And then we use RotoWire's projected pitchers to make decisions on our platoon players. So Arizona looks like they're lined up for a lefty, and a righty. So bad news for Jock Peterson owners this week. He should only get one start. Eugenio Suarez looking like 3 for him. He's in there pretty much every day. He's been good for about a month. 5th best over the last week. Expect him to keep producing for you. Gabby Moreno is still on the IL. He's still a 0. Geraldo Perdomo's been playing really well. Really good guy for the reverse power game, and he hasn't come out since August 8th, so I expect him to keep playing. Jake McCarthy went through a real heater. He's cooled down a little bit, but he's still in there almost every day. Does sit sometimes against lefties, and since he's cooling down, I think they might give him a break. But with Alec Thomas still out of the picture, expect McCarthy to keep getting at bats. I'm going to keep him at a 3. Jock Peterson, like I said, only one right-handed starter, so he should just get one start this week. Josh Bell's playing time should be a little bit interesting now that Walker has come back. I'm thinking they may just alternate these guys between first base and DH most of the time, especially when Peterson is not in the lineup. So I would expect Bell to get 2 or possibly 3 games over the weekend. I'm going to give him 2.5. He may sit on Sunday against the righty. Ketel Marte still working his way back, not back quite yet. Kevin Newman, he's playing against a lot of lefties. And with the 2 this weekend, he's kind of like a short side platoon, but he's going to get 2 opportunities over the weekend. Lourdes Gurriel has gone back on the IL, so you can put him at a 0, and we will turn him pink. Alec Thomas still in the minors, and that is all for relevant players on Arizona. Move to Atlanta, where Adam Duvall doesn't play anymore. Still on the team, apparently, but yeah, he hasn't played in quite a while. I'm going to give him a 0. Austin Riley's still in the IL. He's a 0. Gio Urshela looked like he was injured, but now he's come back. He's pretty much played every day since they signed him. I expect him to keep getting playing time. Jared Kelenic, unfortunately, he's turned into a platoon and not even a full-time platoon. Atlanta doesn't really like doing platoons, so I would expect him to get, well, let's see what they've got. Righty. Either 1 or 2 starts, I'd say. Let's give him 1.5. Can't play him this week, though. He's not getting enough time. Solaire's in there every day. That's a 3. Ozuna's in there every day. That's a 3. Olson's in there every day. 3. Harris, he's been playing every day. He's been playing pretty well. He's a 3. Orlando Arcia never comes out. He's a 3. Albies on the IL, still a 0. Ramon Laureano has been playing pretty much every day for a while, and now, like recently, he's slumped a little bit, and he started getting days off. I would expect him to be in there 1 or 2 days, so let's give him 1.5. Sean Murphy has been splitting time with Darnell behind the plate pretty evenly. Looks like they didn't play today, so Murphy's turn on Friday and Sunday, so I'll give him 2. Let's give Darno 2 as well, or let's give Darno the other one. Adley Rutschman is with Baltimore, so we'll be switching to them. Rutschman's been a tough guy to peg, but we've gotten it right most of the time. He's almost an everyday player, but sits and does not DH as much now that they have O'Hearn and Eloy both on the roster. I think that trend continues. He did DH on Wednesday, so I guess it's happening here and there, but not real often. He's still getting days off. I think he's probably, with the day off today, maybe 3, but probably 2. So I got to go 2.5. Santander hasn't come out much lately, and he's heating up again. Cedric Mullins playing against all those right-handed pitchers and sitting against the lefties. This weekend, righty lined up for Baltimore. I'm going to leave him in for all 3. Colton Cowser. Yeah, he got 1 day off, but could just been a rest day. He's been playing pretty much solid every day, righties and lefties. Eloy, I wouldn't expect him a whole lot against right-handed pitching, although he's getting some at bats. I think he's either 1 or 2 games. Gunner should be in there every day. Jackson Holiday should be in there every day. Westberg still on the IL. Urias now out for the season. Mountcastle on the IL. So they're a little banged up. O'Hearn, I would expect him to get all of these this weekend. He did get a day off against a righty here. Eloy kind of threw a wrench in things for him, but he's hitting. I would expect him to be in there at least 2, maybe 3. So we'll give him 2.5. All right. Cedar Rafaela actually got some days off recently. He slumped a bit. This was a guy that was playing solid every day for months. I think his playing time is waning a little bit. And Boston gets righty, lefty, righty. I'm thinking he probably plays twice this weekend. Connor Wong, your starting catcher. Expect him to get 2 out of 3. Danny Jansen, your backup catcher. Expect him to get the other one behind the plate. David Hamilton's on the IL now. 0 for him. Jaron Duran, he doesn't come out. 3. Yoshida, he should definitely play against the righties. He does sit sometimes against left-handed pitching. And as I said, I think 2 righties and 1 lefty for Boston. So I'd expect him to get 2 over the weekend. Devers doesn't come out unless he's hurt. Looks like he's okay again. 3 for him. Rob Refsnyder probably gets the lefty, so I'll give him a 1. Tristan Casas, not hitting very well. I actually got a day off against the lefty last time out. I know they want to play him. They want him to hit, but it's just not happening for him right now. I'd say he's either 2 or 3. He may start to sit, though, at the way he's been going. Tyler O'Neill will definitely get the lefty and probably at least one of the righties, if not both. Let's give him a 2.5. Vaughn Grissom still in the minor leagues, 0. Wilyer Abreu doesn't hit lefties all that well. Did get a start here, but usually sits against lefties. I'm going to give him a 2. I'm pretty sure he does not play against the lefty, especially with the roster is expanded. We've got Manuel Valdez back up from the minors. I'm going to turn him to white because he's not really an everyday player, but they do like him against right-handed pitching. And with Hamilton out, I expect him to take those at bats. So I'm going to give him, do we give him both? I'll give him 1.5. I'm not sure. 1 or 2. Doesn't have a projection anyways. Doesn't really matter. And let's move on to the Cubs. All right, we got Bellinger with every day at bats. He's a 3. Dansby Swanson doesn't come out. 3. Ian Happ doesn't come out. 3. Isaac Paredes, he doesn't really come out. 3. Michael Bush sometimes sits against lefties, but he's been pretty regular lately. Righty. He should be in there all weekend. Miguel Amaya is your starting catcher. He should be in there 2 out of the 3. Mike Tauchman still not playing. 0. Nico Horner doesn't come out. 3. Seiya Suzuki doesn't come out. 3. I missed Pete Crow Armstrong. Yeah, he's been playing every day as well. And Suzuki. Cubs are getting really easy to peg. Master Boney's back up, but he isn't playing. And those are really the only interesting ones with the Cubs. Cubs are hot, though. Look at all these guys in the top 100. That's a team that struggled most of the year, and they are really coming on right now. If you want to do a stack, that's a hot lineup. Andrew Benintendi, not great against lefties, but he's been hitting pretty well for the last month or so. I would expect him in there most of the time. Let's see what the White Sox have this week. Righty. Yeah, I think Benintendi's in all 3. Andrew Vaughn, wow, is he struggling? I think he was 0 for his last 24, I saw at one point. He did get a day off here. He almost always plays until they just start pulling him. I think we got to imagine he's at least going to be out there. Julks, really mostly a lefty guy. No lefties this weekend. I'm going to put him at a 0. Dom Fletcher is back up from the minors. Been up for a while. You can see he's playing most of the time. He had a nice little stretch there, but he's not hitting. Definitely don't like him against lefties, but yeah, against the righties, I say he's probably an everyday guy. They're giving him a good look. Gavin Sheets, usually a right-handed platoon, strong side platoon, and that looks like that is a good weekend for him. Corey Lee, starting catcher, he should get 2 of 3. Lennon Sosa's been playing. I would say he is. I mean, they definitely like him against lefties from that pattern. Not as much against righties. I'd say he's 1 or 2 starts probably. Luis Robert got a day off on Monday, day off on Sunday. He's just been getting random days off, but he just had one, so I think he's probably good for the weekend. Give him all 3. Nicky Lopez, they don't like against lefties, but we don't have any, so we're going to give him a 3 for the weekend. Med Rosario is on Cincinnati. Let's move over here. And let's see here. Lefty, lefty, righty is the matchup for Cincinnati. I would expect Rosario to be in there. They do like him against lefties, and he's been DHing against righties. This is a banged up Cincinnati club. I would say 3 for Rosario at this point, looks like. Dominic Smith, I don't think they're going to put him in against, what happened to him? Oh, they DFA'd him. Not real surprising. This poor guy's been all over the place this year, like 4 organizations. Ellie doesn't come out, 3. Jake Fraley, not going to play against left-handed pitching. And they only have 1 righty. Is that what I said? Yeah. So I'm only going to give him 1 start. Candelario still on the IL. Jonathan India, he doesn't usually come out. Got a random day off here, so I think he's probably good for 3. Nick Martini still on the IL. Noelvi Marte really lost a lot of playing time here lately. I think with the lefties, maybe he gets 2 starts over the weekend. Can't make him green anymore, though. He's definitely not an everyday player. Reese Hines they called up, and they haven't used at all, so I can't imagine you're chomping at the bit to get him in there. Let's put him at a 0. What did I just do? There we go. Santiago Espinal's been pretty hot. Thought he might be hurt, but looks like he's okay. I think he's almost an everyday player right now, so I think he's probably in there all 3. Spencer Steer, he's not coming out. He's a 3. Just got a day off on Sunday. TJ Friedel, I know they prefer to have him in against right-handed pitching, but he usually plays against the lefties. They're so banged up, he probably almost certainly gets all 3, but with 2 lefties, I'm going to put him at 2.5. A little afraid of that. Ty France, I think, gets all 3. He's actually been hitting. Tyler Stevenson, they do like to DH against left-handed pitchers sometimes. I think he probably catches 1 or 2 games and DHs the other one, so he's probably a 3 this weekend. They just need bats, especially with Fraley going to be out of the lineup. Will Benson, another guy they like to platoon, but he isn't even a full-time platoon. I think he gets maybe 1 game. And that's all I got for the Reds. Going to Cleveland. Andres Jimenez. Yeah, he's not coming out. 3 games. Angel Martinez is in the minors. 0. Bo Naylor, still your starting catcher. 2 games. Brian Rocchio playing most of the time, just like he was the last time I suggested this. 2.5. I'm going to give him. Schneemann playing about half the time, so give him 1.5. He's probably 1 or 2 games. David Fry, the bat still hasn't really heated up. He gets these big gaps where he doesn't play at all. I think maybe 1 or 2 for him. Noel was playing a lot there for a while. Now it looks like he's cooling down again. They just give him days off. With the 2 straight days off, I kind of expect him in all weekend. I'm going to give him 2.5. Jose Ramirez, he's in there every day. Naylor every day. Lane Thomas, they've waited to heat up, and he has. So he's been hitting a lot better lately. I think he's at least 2, maybe all 3. He should be out there every day. Stephen Kwan, everyday player. Tyler Freeman, he hasn't played since August 26th. I don't think you can trust him for anything. Will Brennan, the guy I always get confused with Freeman. He handles right-handed pitching. We got 3 righties, but he doesn't play every day against right-handed pitching. I'd say he's probably 2 out of the 3. And Arias still in the minors. And we're on to Colorado. And we start with Brendan Rodgers. And Brendan Rodgers had a pretty nice stretch there for a while. He did get 1 day off back at the end of August. He usually goes big stretches. I expect him in there all 3. Brent Doyle, unless he's hurt, he's going to be in there. He should be in there all 3. Charlie Blackmon's playing time has waned a little bit. He's playing about half the time, so that's the 1.5. Ezekiel Tovar apparently has a sports hernia he's playing through, but he's just going to keep going. I expect him in there all 3 unless I hear otherwise. Hunter Goodman is back from the minors, playing about half the time. I think this is the guy they like against lefties. Yeah, this is a lefty hitter. Colorado gets none. I think maybe he's in there once. Jake Stallings, that's your backup catcher. I would say 1 game for him. We've got Jake Cave. He is a platoon bat against right-handed pitching, although the last 2 righties he's sat, so I'm not sure what to expect here. We'll give him a 1.5. I think he's either 1 or 2 games. Chris Bryant's still on the IL. Tolia still hasn't sat down, although he's been dead cold for the last week or so. Maybe they let him work through it. They haven't sat him yet. We'll keep him at a 3. Nolan Jones, you can see he just gets random days off here, so I'm not sure he goes all 3. We'll keep him at 2.5. Ryan McMahon, they've been giving him some seats against lefties, but no lefties this weekend, so let's give him a 3. We're on to Detroit. Colt Keith actually sat against some right-handed pitching, which is kind of strange. I don't know if he's dealing with an injury or something. Otherwise, they've had him in pretty straight through the season. He will sit against some lefties, all 3 righties against Colt Keith. I don't know if you can trust it right now. I think he probably plays all 3. Just not 100%. Baez out for the season, I believe. 0. Justin Henry Malloy is back from the minors, but they haven't played him, so he's going to be white, not red, but still not giving him a projection. Kerry Carpenter should be in there all 3 against those right-handed pitchers, and he should be a good play. I really like Kerry Carpenter. Matt Vierling, you can see some holes in his playing time logs. He was a guy who was in there every day for a long stretch. Looks like he's heating up again a little bit. Played the last 5, and he's hitting all right, so I'd expect him to be in there. Parker Meadows, he should be in there against all those right-handers. Really cooled off. Does he sit? I don't know. I think they just let him work through it, so let's give him 3 as well. Riley Green shouldn't come out ever against a right-handed pitcher. He's too good a hitter. We're going to give him a 3. Torkelson, he hasn't sat since coming up. He should be good. Wencel Perez still on the IL. Zach McKinstry, I gave him 2.5 last week, and he rewarded me with not playing. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a 1. Maybe they're moving away from him. Not sure what the deal is. Alex Bregman in Houston doesn't come out of the lineup unless he's injured. He went through a stretch where he didn't play, but he's back. Looks like he's okay. He'll be a 3. Jake Myers rarely misses games. He's on the paternity list as of Monday. Usually paternity lists go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days, and then he'll be back for the weekend. I would expect that to happen, so I'm going to keep him at a 3. Jason Hayward, they picked up after he was cut by the Dodgers. He's been getting some starts against righties, but just sporadically. He won't play against lefties. He's a platoon only, and they have 2 righties. I would expect Hayward to get 1 or 2 starts. Let's go Jeremy Pena. Doesn't really come out. He's a 3. We got John Singleton. Somehow still on this roster. It looks like he's lost his everyday platoon role, and he's kind of a half platoon role now. So I'd say he's either 1 or 2. 1.5 looks good. Altuve every day. Kyle Tucker should be coming off the IL, and he may actually come off the IL on Friday. I'm not 100% on that though, so this could change. Right now he's a 0, but he may come back, and then we'll bump him up a little bit. I think the Dubon era of playing every day there, like he was for about 2 weeks, is probably over. He probably will start against the lefty and then maybe one of the righties, so we'll give him 1.5. Yainer Diaz finally got that day off on August 28th after not having a day since June 12th. So he should be fine. He should be nice and rested. Yordan Alvarez, he's not coming out. Bobby Witt is not on this team. So let's go to Kansas City. We'll just start here before it even loads. Bobby Witt's not coming out. He never sits. We got Freddie Fermin, who has been filling in a bit after Pasquantino went down. They moved Sal Perez to first base, and Fermin's been catching a little bit more than normal. I would say he's more like a starting catcher now, but that would still mean he's just a 2. Hunter Renfroe, is he being activated or is he not being activated? Because he's not down here with Pasquantino, but it still says he's IL. My guess is that means he's being activated, but we'll look it up quick. For all you Hunter Renfro fans out there, yeah, he's returning. Does he return immediately and play an everyday role? I guess that's the question. Well, I think he definitely hit against lefties because I know they don't really love MJ Melendez against lefties, but all righties this weekend. I'm going to give him a 2. We're going to be cautiously optimistic that he gets back his regular role. I'd say Kyle Isbell is pretty safe bet here for right-handed pitchers, and they have 3 of them, so we'll give him a 3. He's been at least a strong side platoon, if not more lately. Michael Garcia got the day off on Wednesday. He usually gets a day off, and then he plays a stretch, so I think he's probably fine for the whole weekend. Michael Massey, I know they want him in there against right-handed pitching, and looks like he started against almost all right-handed pitching dating back to August 14th. So I'll leave him in there for a 3. MJ Melendez has kind of almost been playing against both-handed pitching, but really only sits against lefties. So with the 3 righties, he should be in there. Paul DeYoung, almost an everyday role at this point. The hitting's not really come around though, so he could get a day off. Sal Perez doesn't come out. He's in there all the time. Pasquantino, unfortunately, out for a number of weeks. Velasquez can't get out of the minors. Lofton is still in the minors. And we are on to the Angels. Anthony Rendon. All right, 115th over the last week. So actually something passable from Rendon. He goes a big stretch, then he sits, then he goes another big stretch. And so he's probably ready for a day off. I think he loves days off. So 2 for Rendon. Brandon Drury, same deal with him. He plays about 4 or 5 or 6, and then he gets a day off. So he probably gets a day in here somewhere. These teams that are out of it, no real reason to just push the same guys out there every day, unless they're young guys like Joe Adell. And, looking at his pattern, he's probably ready for a day off. But 140th lately, it's not like his bat's cold. I'm going to give him 2.5. I think there's a good chance he plays all 3. Logan O'Hoppe, starting catcher, he's a 2, and he's dead cold. I wouldn't play him. Luis Rengifo still on the IL. Mickey Moniak's been crushing right-handed pitching. Let's see what they get. Righty, lefty. Okay, so 2 for Moniak. It's unfortunate. He would have been a nice pick if he had 3 righties. Seanwell, he should play every day. He almost never comes out. Bat's not hot right now, though. Taylor Ward's been leading off, and he's hot. I would play him. Willie Calhoun, I think he's back in the minors. Yep, minors. Zach Neto doesn't come out. He's a 3. And we are on to the Dodgers. Whew. Okay, I got about a half an hour. I got to get this done. Andy Pajes, I think he's still in the minors. No, did he come back? He came back, but he isn't playing. Let's give him a 0. Dodgers are getting back to full health, and they're pretty loaded, so it's going to be hard to crack the rotation here. Chris Taylor, they do like him against lefties. Dodgers get lefty, righty, righty, so I expect Taylor to get 1 start. Enrique Hernandez, I think, is going to be kind of back to a short side platoon role as well. Last bunch of starts, most of them against lefties. I would expect him to get 1 as well. Freddie Freeman should be in there every day. Looks like his thumb is okay now. Gavin Lux should get those starts against the righties. I would say he's a 2. James Outman is back in the minors. That's a 0. Kevin Kiermaier, rarely playing now. I would say maybe he gets 1 or 2, so 1.5 is probably good. Max Muncy has been sitting against some lefties. Not all of them. So there's a chance he plays all 3 here. They may sit him on Friday against Boyd. Miguel Rojas, not injured. Mostly a lefty specialist with some right-handed starts. I would say 1 or 2. Definitely get the lefty and then maybe the righty. Mookie Betts, yep, every day. Shohei, every day. Teoscar, every day. Tommy Edman. So this guy's been interesting since he got activated on August 19th. He's only missed 1 game. He just plays all over the place. I think he's in there all 3. Interesting guy for the playoffs, too, so you can get him for cheap, like a classic card. He plays all over the place. He's got multi-position eligibility on a lot of his cards, and he's in a really good lineup. Will Smith is your starting catcher. He should get 2 out of the 3, unless they're playing all night games, which the Dodgers do sometimes. 10, 9, 4. Nope. 2 for Will Smith, and we're on to Miami and Jake Berger. Jake Berger has cooled a little bit, into the 200s over the last 7 days. This guy just mashes the ball. Long-term prognosis good for Jake Berger, but the lineup's terrible. I still expect him to play every day. He's at 3. Jesus Sanchez has been sitting again against some left-handers, but all 3 righties, so I think you can expect Jesus in there all weekend. Nick Gordon, as far as I know, is still in the minors. Is he back? Where'd he go? AAA. Yep, still in the minors. Okay. Otto Lopez. Otto Lopez plays every day. 3. Vidal Brujan. He is on the IL. 0. Xavier Edwards is back and starting and should be in there every day. He's going to be a 3. And that's all I got for the Marlins. Again, a lot of these guys don't have cards. The ones who do, we're working on it. If you see somebody you think I should be focusing on and I'm not, let me know. We'll get them added. But right now, the Connor Norbys and Kyle Stowers of the world can probably wait. Andrew Monasterio really doesn't play unless it's a lefty. And even against the lefties, he's not playing much. This guy's just very average at best, doesn't have a projection anyway because he isn't qualifying for any periods. Blake Perkins is getting quite a bit of time and definitely against lefties, sometimes against righties. As far as the Brewers go, we're looking at righty, lefty, lefty. So at least 2 for Perkins, maybe 3. So we're going to hit 2.5. Bryce Terang really struggling right now. He's had a really rough second half. The last 7 days, he's been a little bit better. They've actually started him against some lefties. Maybe he's getting back an everyday role. I would say 2, maybe even 3 over the weekend for Terang. Garrett Mitchell really struggles against left-handed pitching. I would say he's probably a 1. Gary Sanchez should get both of the lefties. He'll probably DH and then catch. I'd say 2 for Gary Sanchez. Jackson Chourio is absolutely on fire. The only reason he missed August 30th was because he rolled his ankle rounding first base in the first game of a doubleheader and then just got the night off, but he's fine. 3 for Chourio. Jake Bowers isn't going to play against lefties, so he'll get 1 start, I'm sure. Joey Ortiz hasn't really come out. Got 1 day off, but he's pretty steady. 3 for him. They just don't have anybody else to put at third. Reese Hoskins really struggled this year. He should be in there against the left-handed pitchers, I would think. 2, maybe all 3. So we'll go 2.5 for Hoskins. Sal Frelick's really losing a lot of playing time. Started the last 2 against righties, but he's sitting against lefties now and sitting against some righties as they give Brewer Hicklin a chance. I think Frelick at 1.5 is maybe even high. I would say 1 right now for Frelick. Contreras doesn't usually come out. Got a day off on Wednesday. I think he's back in there. And then Willie never comes out, so he should be fine. And run of the Twins. Kirilloff still on the IL. Been on the IL for seemingly all season. Byron Buxton can't make it off the IL. Correa still out. Carlos Santana had to play a lot because of all these injuries. He does sit sporadically, but he's hitting right now. I think they'll keep him in there for all 3. Christian Vasquez still rotating starts with Ryan Jeffers. Jeffers starts today. So Friday and Sunday for Vasquez. Edward Julian, however you want to say that. Not going to start against Cole Ragans. He should get the other 2, I would think. Hit a 3-run homer today, so maybe he's figuring it out again. Jose Miranda. Looks like he's almost got his full playing time back. Starting to heat up a little bit. I think they're going to need him. So I would expect him to be out there all 3. Manuel Margot. He'll definitely start against the lefty. I don't know that he's... Oh, never mind. He's on the IL. And Wallner. Wallner's been pretty decent against righties for the most part, but pretty cold lately. I think he did homer today. He will probably be out there both games against right-handed pitching. We got Kepler on the IL now. He's a 0. Royce Lewis hasn't had a day off in a while. He's almost due for an injury, I would think. Let's say he gets either 2 or 3. Ryan Jeffers, he's playing. He's fine. Turn him back to... he's kind of like a... I think he's yellow because he may DH when he's not catching. He does DH here and there, so we'll give him a 2. Trevor Larnach, I think both right-handed starters he'll get a start against. Willie Castro's been a rock for this team all year. He really almost never comes out. He's going to be a 3. Brandon Nimmo sitting every so often now, but looks like the bat's heating up a little bit lately. I still would expect him out there almost all the time. Lefty, righty. Maybe they give him a day against Williamson, but I would think he's going to want to be out there. That's a tough one. We'll give him 2.5. I'm not 100% sure on him playing all the time right now. Francisco Alvarez should get 2 of the 3. Francisco Lindor is not coming out. Possibly an MVP season if it weren't for Ohtani. Bader, we're looking at pretty sporadic here. He was kind of going every other for a while. I mean, you just can't play guys like this. JD Martinez, he is on paternity leave Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Should be back for the weekend. Well rested. He's an old guy, and he doesn't like the day game after the night game. I would say 2, maybe 3 this week since he's had the whole week off with paternity leave. Not that that's really a vacation. 2 out of 3 for Jeff McNeil. Same for Winker. Iglesias should get the lefty and then maybe a righty or 2. He could even make it 3. Let's see. Let's do 2 games. Mark Vientos. I wish they would just play him every day. They seem to sit him a lot. Bat's hot, though. I would expect him in there all weekend. Pete Alonso doesn't come out. Starling Marte playing most of the time. Definitely getting days off here and there. I'd give him a 2. Taylor will definitely get the lefty. And Brett Beatty is still in the minors. Judge is actually slumping a little bit. 44th over the last 7 days. I saw a stat the other day that he was on Paw Patrol and he's hitting like 140 since his appearance on Paw Patrol. So maybe that's his kryptonite. But yeah, in there every day. Alex Verdugo, I expected him to kind of lose time when they got Jazz Chisholm, but he's still playing every day, even against the lefties. Not playing well, but he's playing every day. Rizzo, they're definitely not going to play against left-handed pitching. They got one in Jordan Wicks, so I would expect him to get 2 games. Volpe doesn't come out. He should be in there every day. Ben Rice is in the minors, as far as I know. Yeah. DJ LeMahieu is just not very good. One lefty. Give him 1 start. Stanton, been hitting a little bit. Probably due for a day off. Well, they had a day off today. Maybe he goes all weekend. Let's 2.5. Yeah, that's about right. Glaber, he doesn't come out. Jazz Chisholm, he's playing every day. Juan Soto's every day. Trent Grisham, he's still on the team. He's due for a start. We'll give him 1. And we are on to Oakland. And the A's bats have heated up. Look at all this. Bunch of guys in the top 50. But not Abraham Toro. He's in the minors. Brent Rooker, he's hot. He's in there. Daz Cameron kind of got an opportunity there for a little while, and now he's kind of he'll play against lefties again, but he just didn't hit well enough against the righties. They do get 2 lefties. Expect Daz to be in there a couple times. JJ Bleday, this guy can actually hit lefties. They just don't play him. Not sure what the deal is. He's probably in there 2. He might actually get all 3. We'll see. Lawrence Butler's not coming out. He's too hot. Max Schumann. His playing time is pretty consistent. He sits here and there, but I expect him in there. He's just not producing at all. Maybe he gets a day off. Maybe they just don't have anywhere to go at third base. That's kind of my thought. Like, who plays third base when he doesn't? Armando Alvarez? I have any idea who that is. Anyway, you can probably avoid Schumann. Seth Brown, been hitting pretty well, but he doesn't hit lefties. So I would expect him to only get the 1 start this weekend. Seeing a start here against, maybe they give him 2. We'll go 1.5 for Seth Brown. He's been so hot. I think they might try him against a lefty. Shea Langoliers has been really good. He'll always surprise me. He'll catch more days in a row than I'm expecting, but I'm wondering if any of these were day games. Maybe they had a night game. We got 940, 407, 407. I mean, that's not awful for him. He might actually go all 3. I'm going to leave him in there at 3. Tyler Nevin should play against those lefties. I would say he's 2 starts. And Soderstrom still on the IL. Zach Geloff's been playing almost every day he's been playing every day since August 3rd. Expect him to continue. And we're on to Philly. Oh, man, I'm never going to get this done. Let's see here. Alec Boehm, are you still out injured? You are. Okay. They haven't IL'd him, but he's missed the last 5 games, so we're not messing with that. Austin Hayes, going to play against lefties and some righties. Philly's got righty, 1 or 2, I'd say, for Hayes. Brandon Marsh should be in there against 3 right-handed pitchers. Harper, is he all right? He got hit in the elbow, his back elbow yesterday. Said it's a bruise. Said he's going to be fine today. Never believe the player. Yeah, all right. I'll believe him. We'll hope he's back for the weekend. Stott should be in there against those right-handers. Sosa, yeah, he's been playing a little bit more. We'll get him in there 1.5. Real Muto, starting catcher. He's played 5 in a row. I think he's got to get a day here, probably. Yeah, I think he'll probably take 1 of those off. So let's give him 2. Johan Rojas. 1.5, maybe. Schwarber, yeah, not coming out. Not coming out. Go ahead and get him in. Castellanos, he's good. Trey Turner, he's good. And Andrew McCutchen, he got hurt. Is he okay? He's out today. Yeah, I don't think you risk it with Andrew McCutchen, unfortunately. So he's going to be a 0. We're going to assume he's still injured over the weekend, unless we hear otherwise. Brian De La Cruz. I would think that's good news for him that McCutchen's out, but he's just lost a lot of playing time. 400ths of the last 7 days. He's better than this. But this is a real bad streak for him. Man. I guess he's probably in there against the lefties and they get all 3. Do you leave him in there, all 3? Well, he's started against like every lefty since coming over. I guess I'd expect him in there, but man, is he struggling. Reynolds, I expect Reynolds in every day. Connor Joe is kind of a lefty specialist, so I expect him to get all 3 this weekend. That might be an interesting one for a cheapie. Jared Triolo, he's been playing almost every day. I guess you can turn him back into a green. Give him a 3. 3.5. Where'd that come from? That was a mess up. Let's see. Ji-Hwan Bae is minors. Yep, minors. Keep Brian Hayes still out. Nick Gonzalez been playing pretty much every day. Expect him to continue. O'Neill Cruz, not sitting against anybody anymore. He's in there. Rowdy Tellez, they don't like him against lefties, and they don't have any righties this weekend, so we're going to put him at a 0. Olivares and Sawinski still in the minors. Padres. All right, we've got David Peralta. He's going to need some right-handed pitching. San Diego gets righty lefty. I would think 2 for Peralta, 1 for Solano. That's usually how that shakes out. Tatis is back. Should be in there every day. Slow start, but that's all right. Get him going. Let's see. How about Hassan Kim still in the IL? Jackson Merrill's been awesome. Keep him going. Jake Cronenworth just got a day off on Monday. And he sat a little bit late in the season, but he's still an everyday guy. Profar got a day off on Monday. He hadn't had one since. He missed something on June 22nd, so he's good. Higgy, back from illness. He's still the starting catcher despite them picking up Elias Diaz and having Luis. So they're carrying 3 catchers right now. I would expect Higashioka to still get the bulk of the catching duties. Luis Arraez, they have been sitting him against some lefties. He's pretty hot, though. I think he probably plays all 3, but I'm not sure. I'm going to use him in your reverse power. Luis Campusano, probably the other game that Higashioka doesn't catch, but they may work Elias Diaz in here. He's got maybe a better bat than Campusano. We got Machado every day. We got Bogarts every day, and we are on to Seattle. Cal Raleigh. So Cal Raleigh, they do like against those lefties. Now they were sitting him against some lefties earlier in the year. Seattle's actually started to hit a little bit. All righties this weekend. I would expect Raleigh in there all 3. Canzone is still out, or he's in AAA. Don't worry about him. Dylan Moore, pretty sporadic, usually against lefties. I'd say maybe he gets 1 start just because he can play all over the place. JP Crawford has had his playing time kind of slowly introduced. We just got a day off today, so I expect him in there all weekend. Jorge Polanco looks like he's starting to struggle again. I would say we're losing playing time here against the lefties. He's probably in there all 3, but I'm not 100%, so put him at 2.5. Josh Rojas, he should play against all 3 righties. He did get a day off here. And they started Dylan Moore, but yeah, Rojas he's fine. Julio starting to heat up a little bit. He should be in there. Justin Turner. You see the playing time against righties is kind of all over the place. Only give him like 1.5. What a disappointing trade. Luke Raley. Yeah, Luke Raley should be in there against all right-handers. Mitch Garver. Yeah, I don't think you can really use him this weekend. Maybe he gets a start. Haniger. He's not a big league player at this point, but maybe he gets one. Rosarena should be in there every day after getting a day off today. Robles has been pretty good. He should be in there every day. And we're on to San Francisco. And in San Francisco, we have Brett Wisely back from the minors. He is handling most of the second base duties against right-handed pitching, but not all of them. Righty. I would say he gets 2 out of the 3 there. That's what it looks like they're doing. Casey Schmidt. Is he back in the minors? Yeah, he is. So that'd be a 0. And a red mark. Ramos. Yeah, he just got a day off. He should be fine for all 3. Lamont Wade. I said all righties, and Lamont Wade hits against almost all righties. He did get 1 day off in this giant long stretch, but he should be fine. Put him in for 3. Mark Hanna has become pretty exclusive short side platoon since joining San Francisco. I would expect him out of the lineup all weekend. Matt Chapman missed Wednesday. We didn't know why he got scratched, and then he signed a huge contract. So it was probably because they were finalizing his contract and he didn't want to get hurt. So I think he's fine. 3 games for him. Conforto, yeah, he should be in there against all the right-handed pitching. Same with Yastrzemski. Patrick Bailey is going to be your starting catcher. I expect him for 2 out of 3. Don't know why I made him green. He should be yellow as a starting catcher. Tyro Estrada. Oh, 204. Wow, he's really been bad lately. Tyro Estrada got sent down. I think he got waived and nobody picked him up. This was a guy that before the year started, people were expecting a big season. Big disappointment. Fitzgerald never comes out. He's a 3. Flores still on the IL, 0. Luis Matos, I believe, is back up. He is. How much is he going to play, though? I don't know. Guess it remains to be seen. We'll give him 1.5 just to be nice, but he doesn't even have a projection. And we're on to St. Louis. Alec Burleson. He's sitting now against left-handers. The great start to the season kind of crashing down, but all 3 righties, so Burleson should still be in there every day. Brendan Donovan playing against both-handed pitching. He's been one of their best bats second half of the season. He's in there every day. Nootbaar isn't going to come out against righties, and he's hot right now, so he should be in there. Mason Wynn doesn't come out ever. Matt Carpenter, I don't think you can trust to play at all. He hasn't played since August 26th. Ciani, they said he's the everyday guy against righties. Well, they got 3 righties, so he should be in there. Nolan Arenado. Yep. Nolan Gorman is down in the minors, so that's a 0. Paul Goldschmidt. He actually heated up a little bit after a terrible season. I don't expect him to come out when he's hitting like this. Wilson Contreras, unfortunately, out for a while yet. Ivan Herrera has stepped into the starting catcher, and Pedro Pajes has been his backup, and now Pajes got a little bit hot, so they're kind of splitting it evenly. I don't know which one of them is going to play 2 and which one's going to play the other one, so we're going to give Herrera 1.5, and we're going to move on. Tampa Bay. Ben Rortvedt, still your starting catcher in Tampa. I expect him to get 2 out of 3. Brandon Lau, depends on what handedness the pitchers are. So you have 1 lefty and 2 righties. Expect him to get 2 starts. Chris Morel, they're still trying to get him started. He just got a day off. He usually plays a stretch before he'll get another day off. And he's heated up a little bit, so we'll leave him in for 3. Dylan Carlson will get that lefty. And maybe a righty. I would say 1.5 for Carlson. Johnny DeLuca, still getting at bats. I'd say he's 2, maybe even all 3, 2.5. Caballero, Yeah, he's right there too. I don't know if I can trust him for all three. Let's give him 2.5. Jose Siri's kind of playing every other day right now. It looks like he's probably 1 or 2. Josh Lowe, he's starting against the lefties now, so he's kind of become an everyday player. Let's make him green. He's a 3. Richie Palacios still out. Taylor Walls, playing time's real sporadic. They will use him against, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. He's just not very good. I would say 1.5 for Taylor Walls. Yandy should be in there unless he's hurt. He's got a couple days off recently, but I think he's fine and his bat's heating up, so I'd expect him out there. And Aranda's back from AAA. Not getting a whole lot of starts. I would say maybe 1 or 2. Let's give him 1.5 and turn him white. Okay. Almost done. Texas, Toronto, Washington, and we are out of here. Adolis Garcia, 217 recently, but he just doesn't come out of the lineup. So he's still a 3. Corey Seager is on the IL now. They said they were going to limit his playing time down the stretch, and then immediately he went on the IL. So I guess that'll limit it. Evan Carter hasn't come back yet. Ezekiel Duran taking some extra at-bats against lefties. Texas gets lefty, righty. I expect Duran to get 2 starts here. Jonah Heim. They don't love him against lefties. They usually will play him against righty. No, maybe they do like him against lefties. Either way, he's not going to be in your lineup because I don't know how much he's going to play. Maybe 1.5. Josh Young, he should be out there every day. His bat's heated up. Josh Smith, definitely sitting him against lefties. And with 2 of them, I would only think he's going to get 1 start. Leote, they don't like him against lefties either. He did play against one here. Yeah, I think I just slide Langford over. Probably just the 1 for Leote. Marcus Semien should be out there every day. He actually got a day off. Wow. He never takes days off. July 4th. That's it. July 4th. He got hurt on May 29th. Took that one off. July 4th, he took off. And then he's played every game until September 4th. I think he's in there. Nate Lowe. Nate Lowe has been okay. Looks like he's hitting against both-handed pitching. I expect him in there. Langford's heated up again. Expect him in there. And we're into Toronto. Bo Bichette's short IL stint has turned into a couple months. And he is a 0. Dalton Varsho. I don't know if you can trust him to play every day. He should be in there most of the time. Lefty, righty, lefty, though. So 2 lefties for Varsho. Yeah, 1 or 2. 1.5 is good. I think Schneider's probably in there too against those 2 lefties. Ernie Clements earned everyday playing time at this point for them. I think he's a 3. George Springer, he's sitting a lot, but with 2 lefties, I think he's out there all weekend. He's probably a 3. Joey Loperfido, he's earned pretty regular playing time. Only got hurt. He played a couple, and he got this one off. I hate these. I mean, you can't give him a 3. I'd say 1 or 2. Spencer Horwitz been playing against both lefties and righties. Get a couple days off here. He's back. He looks fine. I expect him out there all 3. And Vlad just got a day off. He should be good for the weekend. And last but not least, the Washington Nationals, starting with the struggling CJ Abrams. Wow, great start to the season, and he has fallen on his face. I still like him. Still like him long term. But, man, what a tough stretch here. He's still an everyday player. If they're going to rest him, it's going to be against a lefty. Looks like they get 3 righties. I expect him out there all 3. Jacob Young, he hasn't come out much at all. And looks like that's continued. That's a 3. James Wood never comes out. That's a 3. Joey Gallo should play against all those right-handers, so that's a 3 for him. Juan Yepes is kind of a short side platoon now after having that nice stretch right when he got called up. I expect him as a 0. Keibert, you're looking at your starting catcher here, and he actually DHs once in a while when he's not catching. I think, yeah, they had a day off here. They had a day off here. He probably goes 2, and they give the other one to Millis. All right, and Luis Garcia, he should be a 3. They should just be playing him against both-handed pitchers right now, but with the 3 righties, he's definitely in there. Meneses and Lipscomb still in the minors. All right, that'll wrap for today. Thanks for watching. If you watched, go ahead and give me a like, subscribe to my channel, hit up my Patreon, search me over at Patreon if you want to get all these sheets full of wonderful data and projections and your own gallery organizers that look like this. So you can look at all your players, you can organize them by projections, and then you can tell it exactly where you want to put them. And then when you go to your page, you just easily build your lineups. Anyway, all that for $5 a month. And if you're still watching now, I mean, it's been an hour. It's only $5. You can always just cancel it. Just saying. And we got NBA coming. And if you're a member already when we start our NBA stuff, it'll carry over. You get that too for your $5. All right. Take care. We will see you on the other side. Good luck this weekend.